I think I'm live. Hey, Nancy, am I live right now? Can you hear me, Nancy? Nancy! Nancy's dead. I think I can raise my volume up a little bit more. I just got a microphone floating over here. I cannot use my favorite mic today because it has to be more of a boom situation. Can everybody hear me? All right, good. So, here's what we got going on over here today, right? I got a big ass screen over there that's far away with everybody's chat in it. And it's tiny, and I cannot see what anybody's saying. And so naturally I was like, all right, well, middle mouse button, hold down the control key, make everybody's text big because it's Chrome. Nah, Chrome was like, fuck off. All right, so I got an iPad over here, a smaller one. This is an advertisement for my own video. And then I see tiny text coming up on the iPad, but it's delayed. So, yep. Sorry. Just like, what? Why the fuck can't anything work? Somebody needs to make an app. I mean, Google ideally, but someone needs to make an app that's just called YouTube Live Chat. That's just like a ticker, and that way I could talk to everybody, and yeah. And now I have something that says that the audio stream's bitrate is lower than recommended. When am I gonna get the hang of this? All right. So how's everybody doing? Gardner, how are you? How are you doing? I saw you earlier. Happy to see you again. Now that the pandemic is still raging, but at least now that I'm vaccinated, maybe we could actually hang out. I have been, okay, so speaking of back hurts, I'm doing a video that is like kind of well, I might as well, doesn't need to be a surprise. I'm doing a video where I am recording nature samples. Easy enough, right? But the whole point is actually recording nature samples without any background noise from man-made things like airplanes and cars and gunshots and 2 Live Crew and whatever else. And so this is actually a really big challenge. And I was talking to Richard Devine about it, and because that's his gig is recording sound design stuff, and he was like, yeah, dude, I've just never been able to find a place that doesn't have that going on. And I was like, well, that's a problem. So I had an idea, and I've been like getting into mountain biking lately, and I was like, well, how about I just mountain bike somewhere away from roads? And that'll be easy, right? Okay, well, no, not really, because mountain bike trails tend to be by roads, so people could bring their mountain bikes there. And they also tend to not go more than 10 miles, like on an actual mountain bike trail. Because 10 miles on a mountain bike on a mountain bike trail is nuts. It's totally, it's like it's like a lot of work. 20 miles is like, so, but I think that like 12 miles is probably as far as I need to be from a gravel or dirt road to do this. And so, so I was like, all right, so mountain biking's not going to work. So I hit up a couple different companies and was like, hey, the e-bike market is completely crazy right now. How would you guys like to have something in a video? And, some of them were like, yes, take my crappy one. And finally, this company, Hemiway, hit me up, and they're like, we can do this safely. We can give you a bike that could work safely. And I was like, I don't believe you. Like, I believe that you can send me an e-bike, but I don't believe that it would actually work safely. So this thing has super fat tires. It weighs about 75 pounds. It has a 750 watt battery for pedal assist, and it has a 60-mile range, apparently. And so I just don't trust it. I'm just like, there's no way that I'm bringing this thing into a wildlife refuge 20 miles away from civilization, off trail, and then having it break down and then dying, or having to like leave all my gear out there, like microphones and shit and everything else. And so I've had this bike for like 2 weeks now. And so I brought it on the Silver Comet Trail, which is paved, and just broke it in. And I was like, the brakes are good for a mountain bike trail, but the brakes are not good if I'm like going down a real mountain or something. So changed the brake pads, put 40 miles on it, 35 miles in one day, in one big outing, all on the same battery charge. And I'm like, okay, this is good. All right. And then today, like, it was so funny because I was like, I should play with beads first before starting the stream. And I was like, yeah, but I also really want to bring this thing off of a trail because I'm going to start shooting this very soon. And so it's like, I'm just so nervous about the bike. So I brought it off of a trail and it did quite well. I'm definitely going to have to like modify a few things, like maybe move the derailleur a bit, but it did quite well. And I was like, this bike is holding up. It's a heavy ass bike. Like, it's near impossible to ride without the power. And I also had like weights on the back to make sure that it could do that. And it held up pretty well. But then like I got home and I was like, wow, this is pretty good. And then I realized like my body didn't hold up very well. Like my body was like, dude, riding off trails is not easy. Why did you think it was easy? Just because your bike can do it doesn't mean that you can. And so I'm very sore. And I have not played with beads yet, really. I just plugged a couple things in just now. Yeah, no, I have a hardtail. I have a Volano Blackjack or Cobra, Volano Cobra that I've like modified myself. It has hydraulic brakes. It's like I have a hardtail. I have a Cannondale as well, but to actually go more than 20 to 30 miles in one day per day, I need some sort of assistance. Because keep in mind that I'm a lot of this is going to be bike packing, and then I also have to carry water with me, and that's like 2 gallons of water per day, and then on the first couple trips I'm not going to be using ambisonic mics just yet because I don't want to bring multi-$1,000 microphones out to the middle of nowhere until I'm sure that I can pull this off. So I'll have a Zoom H8, which I have not opened yet, but my iPad is being held up by it. So yeah. Anyway, I'm glad that we have lots of Europeans. Yeah. I don't have any full suspension bikes. I feel like the more sorry, I'm reading these comments on this tiny little screen. I feel like the more oh, okay, so metric system. Well, I don't know. Somebody else figured this out. So if this thing claims to have a 60-mile range, which I don't believe it does. I think that's under like absolute perfect conditions where pedal assist is on its lowest setting and I'm on concrete. I feel like then it might have a 60-mile range. But what is 60 miles to kilometers? Because I'm probably going to be going like, I'm going to try and, realistically, if I'm to get 15 miles away from where the bike can be dropped off, then that's 30 miles minimum. Assuming that I don't get lost, assuming that I don't, I'm going to be running into rivers and shit. And so it's going to be like, yeah, I don't want to spoil where I'm going. But basically, as this goes on, I want to continue this throughout the summer. And as this goes on, it's going to get crazier, I think. But like right off the bat, I think I'll be encountering alligators and bears like within the first 2 trips. Okay, so 100K. I've also, Gardner, I actually just saw a message from you regarding this. I was also going to hire somebody to help with cameras and to also just be a safety precaution type, like it's good to have another person. I've talked to some, but it's just, and so I was going to hire somebody and then I talked to an insurance company to have the shoot insured and they were just like, yeah, it's going to cost a lot of money to bring a camera person / assistant out to the middle of nowhere. overnight on e-bikes. And I was like, well, all right, so I can't really afford that, but yeah. So that's the video project I'm working on. It's pretty ambitious, and it's ambitious in a different way than the sexism video was. It's ambitious in like a way more adventurous way, but I just wish that I had people, like a small crew. I just wish that I had like somebody that I could go with, because it's just so weird going out into these places on your own and, I don't know, not being able to like high five, or especially recording yourself, because, you know, like you're going to have these shots of like, I'm going to try and make it look nice, but, you know, that's so wanky to be like, all right, I'm going to go through this area first and then put the camera down and then drive past it. But that's Holly YouTube. Anyway, so that's what I'm working on. By the way, Patreon's helped a bunch with that. Projects like that are not easy, because like I got the e-bike, but then, you know, changing the brakes, changing some parts, changing a disc brakes on it, like all that stuff costs a lot. And then what really cinched this one was an Audible partnership for just a small contract. I don't have to do it for every video, and so that made the budget happen. Yeah, I really wish I could bring other people, because yeah, I really do wish I could bring other people. But I just can't. I can't afford the insurance. The insurance is crazy, and it's ambitious and irresponsible to just like tie somebody else into that unless they, yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's I'm reading the chats. It's a broken leg, like going over the handlebars. Like even today when I was testing it out, I like went down in some creek beds and stuff, and I was like, ooh, since this bike's so heavy, I can't control it as easily, and I feel like the G-force is affecting me more than it's affecting the bike. And I was like, oh, I might fall off the handlebars if I accidentally hit a bump that I'm not expecting. But yeah, I have a GoPro, and I have another action cam that I might mount to like a helmet or something. Yeah, my parents, I'm going to be telling my parents where I'm going. And then for one of the more extreme ideas, which is like borderline stupid, but one of the more extreme ideas, it's, I don't want to give it away, but again, it's maybe the most remote spot that you could get away from civilization in the United States. One of the more extreme ideas, I actually have been talking to rangers and like trying to be like, when's the best time, when's the safest time, and what kind of long-range radio communications could I possibly work out? And if not that, then I would get a satellite phone. So anyway, modular synthesizers. That'd be funny if I was like, oh, I wonder if Litchi came out for, oh, I have it right here. I have like my Mavic, my Mavic Air 2. I wonder if Litchi came out for this yet. Litchi is, you could like program your drone to do more things. You could like tell it to go to a certain place on Google Maps and stuff like that. And if Litchi came out for it, then that actually could potentially be arguably a safety thing, because I could just tell the drone to go get help, drop a note off at the ranger station or something. Yeah, okay. So, Osu, man, I want to make a video. I want to make a video on that one day, on Osu, just because I have no idea how to play it, and I'm terrible at it. Even at my own songs, like I'm just the worst. So I've only tried a few times. Yeah, maybe I could get enough sponsors to just have a helicopter cam, and Yeah. All right. So, it's not really in camera here, but I don't need to be featuring this, but I have this as well, BeatStep Pro, that I will be using probably. So I know this. The Polybrute. The Polybrute's like over there on the other side of me. It's on the other. I'm actually beta testing something for it now, but also this is my first day using Pamela's workout. Okay. So from my understanding, this has some plats or plates, things in it. And this is just like the default mode, apparently. Yeah, after I made my modular video, a bunch of people told me to go buy Pam's, and I was like, I don't know. I have like so many different clock generators and logic things, but I haven't even done any. I did like literally just turned it on. And I was like, within a few clicks, I was like, oh, this is really helpful. Like this is actually okay. So let's go in raw. I don't know what I want to use as my source. Might as well just go with the Mother 32. It's easy enough to program. Oh, I already actually. Okay, yeah, and that'll shut it up. Oh, that's loud. What is this melody? God, what is this? I like know this melody from somewhere. Oh, this is gonna drive me crazy. I like accidentally programmed a melody that I know. Oh, I know it. Ready? The dream of the 90s is alive in Portland. Maybe? Anybody who actually knows that, it's like a song in the first episode of Portlandia. Wow, I haven't heard that in like 10 years. Okay. As far as synthesizer books, I'm sure the other people in this chat would probably have a lot of good ideas too. That I feel like I'm a little too distracted to totally give you any useful advice at the moment. Okay, but we're not playing with this. We're playing with I wouldn't even think of a book really. I don't know if you're new to modular. Oh man, it's not Knobs. It's the guy that Knobs made the pedal book with, or woman. I'm not sure who, but anyway, there's a. All right, let's get going here. Okay, let's just start seeding. I know that this is clockable delay. If I give it a more actually, let's make a new pattern, because this one... Can't believe I remember how to make patterns in this. So I wonder if I change one of these Ham's outputs, out 3, modify it by 4. Oh, cool. Okay. That's useful. Yeah, so what is beads then? That's a good question, actually. Beads is like, I mean, it's a newer version of clouds. It's a reinvented clouds. But I like the way that this was written up. Okay. One way of picturing how beads operates is to imagine a tape loop on which incoming audio is continuously recorded. Every time you request a grain to be played in reaction, a trigger, a button pressed periodically or randomly, a new replay head positions itself along the tape. If this replay head doesn't move, the audio will be played back at the original pitch and speed. But if it moves closer to or further away from the record head, the signal will be replayed at a different speed and pitch. This replay head has its own amplitude envelope, and it will leave the tape once the envelope has reached a null amplitude. Now imagine up to 30 replay heads flying along the tape. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, I guess it is just granular, but it's so different than any other granular. Like clouds is too. Like it's just a different, I don't even, yeah. I mean, I guess it just is granular, but. I feel like one stupid thing that's happening right now is I feel like we should be using Pamela's to clock the Mother 32. And let's do that. Tempo. This way everything will be in sync properly. Maybe. See how long it takes for it to actually pick up the... This iPad. It's like, no, I don't want to show you the chat because I'm an iPad and I have to be difficult. Yeah, I'm not even really using the KeyStep Pro at the moment. I feel like the difference between clouds and beads would be... I mean, I feel like beads is just more directly a texture synthesizer. But I feel like I'm not really like that amazed yet. I will be. Okay, we could also freeze, right? So if I, like, make a sweep and freeze it. Then I know that this is, like, tape mode. Lucy, you're just scratching. Yeah, man, this iPad screen's gonna keep turning off. I just changed the C to a G. Wow, that actually takes a while to get into the mix, doesn't it? I'm impressed by the amount of sample time this has. I mean, it really takes a while to get rolling. Might as well get like a drum sound in. By the way, I know that I complained about my IntelliGel Plonk dying or just not working. I actually like just soldered some parts on the back, like just literally like resoldered it a little bit, and it totally works fine now. if anybody from IntelliGel. It's like IntelliGel, they were like, we'll send you a new one, we'll do this, and I was just like too lazy to like put it in the mail. Just anything that you put in the mail now. All right, Lucy, your collar's coming off. You're making too much noise. Come here. Come on. Yeah, it's okay. You're just scratching and making a lot of noise with your collar. All right, Lucy's collar is gonna go right on the modular here. It's gonna be a reminder of who's in charge around this place. There we go. Okay. All right, yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Drums or something? Yeah, okay. Drums can go here. Need me a long cable. Why is it so quiet? I do have more outputs. I was about to beat myself up for not having more outputs. By the way, I can also just play this to have it drive Pamela's clock. So let's try it. It's gonna have a hiccup for a moment, right? Yeah, okay, we're working. You can't see what I just did, but I turned the Arturia Key Step Pro, no, Beat Step Pro. Like that is now my master clock going into Pamela's where it's dividing everything around. Okay. Maybe Rample should be used now. I don't really want to use I mean, I love the beat step, but I kind of just want to keep things modular for now, especially since Pamela's is new. What kind of modifiers can we have here? Oh wow. You just divide it by 40? Really? Wow, so we could get so polyrhythmic. Guess I'll do another one with 5. talking to the drummer from Another Mother. How about just use this as advance? I feel like that snare needs some reverb, doesn't it? Cables to get some more inputs in my mixer. Is analog. How's it going, Noir? I'm trying to figure out the beads here. I'm trying to figure out how to use beads that are and enjoying the texture with them. I wonder if I should not be putting Mother 32 through beads. I want to try texture. I want to try texture. I want to try percussion. See how that sounds. See how you sound through beads percussion. So this is feedback. Ooh. Oh, this is so weird. I still, I'm like, I think I know what's going on, but I'm not entirely sure. And I know that if we put a clock into my clouds, which is running the Camaril firmware, we'll get some glitchiness happening, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the kicks. I mean, really. How loud is this? It's not loud enough in my ears. Getting weird. I wish I had the manual for the texture synthesizer. I feel like a lot of these things I could just make with the Mutable stuff. A lot of these sounds. Just make sure I'm not peeking. I'm going to increase the tempo here, make this more IDM-y. Yeah, okay, so that snare needs to go through some sort of reverb. I bet that this impossible to use disting. Yeah, I don't know. What? Never mind. Nope. Jesus Christ. Oh, I wish I could use the Empress thing so badly, but I can't. I promised I wouldn't make any spoilers with this beautiful, beautiful thing right here. No spoilers. I can't do it. It would save my ass, though. It would save my ass from the beads, the texture beads. Okay, it's at least getting kind of neat sounding, huh? We need like a big, ominous synth now. Huh. Alright, we could use the other clouds. Dude, let's use the embarrassing brand output. Filter output. Let's see what that's like. I haven't used that thing in a while. CV sequencer 1. actually triggering it, am I? Okay. Not long enough. Should have some terrible tone coming in from this. Just some. Nada. What if I come out of the entire oscillator? What if I just come out of an oscillator? There we go. Okay. We're getting there. I feel like I should move something over a little bit more so you can see what I'm doing, like this. Wonder if I can. Kind of. I forgot how to. This is embarrassing. I haven't used this in long enough to where I forgot how to change my. Here? Change my octave. Oh, there it is. Duh. Alright. Wonder if I could pull that off. Shift. I don't think it's going to record it the way I want it to, but we'll try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh well. We could just swing the hell out of it. Add some probability. excited about this song at all. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, well, is that an hour? Maybe I should turn my iPad on and look at the comments. All right. Enough. Start over. I can't smell any potentials. I'm not into that. I think that track, unfortunately, was hot garbage. All right. I think we should start out with rings. I think we should start out with this this Arturia key step. Whoa. Where's that noise coming from? Where's that ground loop coming from? How do you solve a ground loop? Maybe I should make a video on that someday. Hint, hint. Oh, well, you have a good night, Gardner. I will see you soon. Good luck with the baby. Hope she feels better. Oh, yeah, that could be some. Well, I feel like loading rings into beads, like rings, is pretty. I feel like that might be right up the same alley that you're thinking. I think we got some similar ideas here. So let's just fuck off that sequence forever. This is gate, right? Yes. This is octave. Wonderful. Okay. Aye. So let's get a frame of reference first, and just go rings rather, rings straight into here, this way. There's no confusion. We know the melody we're making to begin with. We have a clear starting point, and then we can let beads sort everything out. If I don't really care what left and right is. They could both be pink. All right. Wonderful. It's gonna be loud, isn't it? Rings remains one of my favorite modules ever. Oh, did I? This is regarding donating our unused synths to you. This is actually probably going to make people angry to hear, but I think that once your modular system gets this big, it's bad for creativity. I truly believe that. I thought about this for a long time because I noticed that, like, after I got this case, and this case is brilliant, I love it. After I got this case and expanded a little bit more, it just got kind of much harder to use. Just much harder to, like, get into. And then I remember I watched these old videos where I only had, like, you know, this tiny little bit or something, just like, you know, a Mother 32 and like 3 more modules, and I would just go to town and make crazy things. And now it's just sensory overload. There's my iPad. Your wife called me a basic bitch. I don't know, man. I think that get this shit out of here. Here's what I have. This professional iPad stand right now. It's this thing. Just haven't opened this yet, but it is my iPad stand. Oh, good lord, what a mess. Okay. Yeah, no, I think Rings is a hard beast to make sound right. Man. I can't do it. I want to go to the Ornaments and Crime, but I just feel like it's just going to take too much time. I don't have... I was just thinking a metronome. What? No idea what's going on right now. Why is this triggering out of nowhere? Then fuck it. Then I will use the Ornaments and Crime if you want to be like that. What's here? I'll use a pentatonic major with my root being C. There goes the iPad again. Alright, and then... Oh, fuck off. I don't even need you now. I'll just run my own clock all by myself. Yes, man. Acid curds. All right. And... another gate. I swear this is going somewhere, don't worry. I thought we didn't need this. Do we? one is okay. Maybe I'll use a different mode. All right. Pentatonic major. I realize this is hairy, it'll get better. Turn up the Brownian power up ability. I wonder if anybody else actually likes this type of like weird early computing generative. It's just so thick. Okay, 14 bar sequence. It's just not moving quite enough. I'll just make my own active notes. There we go. Can I turn up an octave? I could do it this way. There we go. Now. Okay, now let's bring this into beads. like it. It has tension. It's a tense little sequence. Come on. Am I peeking? No. Okay, now we clock into seeds. This will do it. Start modulating some of these ring perimeters. Where are all my like normal cables? Oh, I don't want to do anything too complicated with modulation. Maybe just maths. Or I could just use this guy. kind of want to use the life forms instead. Yeah, okay. I got an idea. What time is it? Sorry, I'm not looking at your comments, so I can't. My screen's not on at the moment. Alright. So we got our pitch. Going into VO1. This going in there. Got our gates. Into there. This is doing my head in, man. So check this out. Well, you can't really see, I guess. It's too. So this is all like. Maybe I'm drunk. I have no idea what's happening. Let me turn this off for a second. Any delay or anything. Okay. For some reason, when I press play on this, it's just triggering things randomly. What are you doing? Am I coming out the right thing? Yeah? Maybe my BeatStep Pro is on its way out. Send in phantom gates. Am I not? Yeah, I'm not losing my mind. Try this one. Stupid. Yeah, now it should be sending stuff. That's so weird. Haha, stop sending shit. Maybe just some weird leaking from the drums. No. Control mode, project. Ah. Yeah, this is so annoying. I'm all inspired, man. Just say that one again. Why are you so annoying? It's not the life forms. It did this with every synth. I thought I was just losing my mind at first, but it's the randomness. Randomness is down. Swing is down. Probability's down. Oh, maybe it reset the random. Okay, well that's good news. Let's replay this. Don't worry, I'll tune this. All right. Much better. Oh, sorry, Lucy. Now, and only now, can we put some drums in this thing. So I keep dropping cables on my dog, and she's just like, dude, I'm sleeping. I'll get one. All right, Pamela's workout. Let's get to work. Why can't I freeze this? There we go. This is coming from number 3, which should be super fast. Nice. Final clock signal out of pans. See how much of a disaster this is. What is 5? We're good. Yeah, that has to be through more effects though. It's not doing it for me until it's through some craziness. Maybe I'll switch kits. Ooh! Nice amen. Forgot I had this in here. This is cooking. Almost. What a mindfuck. I wonder if I could throw in, trying to think what inputs I'm not using. Modulate these drums a little bit better. Get math on the case again. Actually, this will do a job. Can't seem to kill the gain on this. Whatever. I'll just pitch it up. I don't know. It's not the worst patch I've ever made, but it's in the lower 30%. Yeah, rings and beads is doing doing a great job here. From here. Usually I would just get an instrument, but this is out of tune by quite a bit, isn't it? So tempting with that. I didn't update the firmware on the machine drum, but it's like right there. I'm just like, oh man, so close. If you're new to this, if this is something you want to do and you're new to it, then VCV Rack is the way to go. Like if you go to my Patreon, you can see all my past VCV Rack streams. We could change a whole bunch here. Wonder if I could go higher. Come on. Yeah, there we go. I feel like anytime I do anything with ornaments and crime on my streams, people are like, I really want that, and then once I show them what's happening with it, they're like, not really though. It's like, it seems like the most over-complicated way to make a melody ever. You know, though, we do have, I wish I set up another input. I mean, how important are these drums? Time is it? Not at all. We could get rid of all the drums. I don't care. We could sacrifice that input for something cooler. That was... Yeah, okay. I say elements. Ugh. Okay. I want to create something a little bit more creative on the trigger side of things. I like Pamela's workout and all, but I really would like to go to Logic Town. yeah, okay, so maybe we could go to 8 here. Yeah, I feel like Pamela's new workout with logic gates is going to be a lot of fun. So 4. Yeah, okay. So I could divide it by that. If I had a piece of paper, I'd draw what I'm doing with the logic gates, but I don't. I'm going to try and create the most weird and signal that's just some random bursts of clock. It's like pow, 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 pow. Yep, that'll do it. Okay, and then I'm going to mix that with like... Can anybody actually see what I'm doing up there? Maybe I'll... There you go. Kind of, not really. All right. Mix that. Oof, I need something a little dimmer here. I know I have another clock out that I can use. Yes, I do. Amazing. Alright. 5. And this one will just be like... Yeah! Okay, cool. Sorry, I realize that what I'm doing right now makes absolutely no sense to the stream, but I promise it'll pay off. I'm just creating a really nice little clock. Really a logic gate program, I guess a logic gate algorithm, a Boolean algorithm to create percussion. That will go into the ornaments and crime. Ooh, you know what? Glad I said that out loud because I'm going to need to duplicate that. And by duplicate that, I suppose this would be the way to do it. Duplicate my AND signal into, okay, here, and then duplicate it into my gate of elements. Lucy, I'm gonna need you to stop eating my goddamn cables. Alright. Just kidding, Lucy. There we go. Nice. Alright. And then which channel did I have open? That one. Okay, and I like this because Elements has its own reverb. Has its own stereo reverb and space algorithm in there. It's very nice. I can't hear it, which is concerning, but I think it's because I have this muted. Yes. Yep. Okay. So this is what we created with all that. I'm going to try and create a mallet. No striking timbre. Okay. So this is what we want to do is we want to hear rings. And we want to match it to this tone. Nope. That'll do it. Okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Should I have done it that way? Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Go up one more octave. I don't know, or we could be chimey. That's not so bad. Alright, now let's bring that bass back in. There. Increase the range here. Increase lots of Brownian probability. Oh, you could also affect the strength of elements. I always forget about that, and it's so powerful. Oh, we actually have a nice little randomized, quantized, controlled voltage right here. That is just needlessly going into there. Yeah, this will humanize it a bit. Alright, and then let's modulate that brightness. Nice. I dig that little phrase. And auto cycle. Oh yeah, the control forge down here. Let me read your comments. Alright. Yeah, I'm not even using the BeatStep Pro here. Up in the right, up here, is the Pittsburgh Modular Lifeforms SV1. That's the base thing. Yeah, workout is just like the ultimate trigger. So, like, the BeatStep Pro is... Oh, no, I'm sorry. The BeatStep Pro is actually creating the bass sequence. But it's just, like, you know, a few notes. We could change it up, actually. We could add another... So beads is this, and rings is what is giving it its, you know. You know, actually, I wonder if we changed oscillators and rings. It's probably going to sound botched, but let's see. Oh, that doesn't sound too bad at all. Wait for the brightness to open up again on the modulation. And then this one will be like really chimey. Ooh, sounds very like Select Ambient Works Volume 1, doesn't it? Without the reverb, it sounds like this, which is pretty damn cool. I could also tune it down an octave. Actually, a seventh? I bet it would just continue, though. Yeah. You can use the iPad to control the modular. So, if I wanted to use my iPad, I could plug it directly into my Poly End Poly 2, which breaks it up into a bunch of MIDI outputs, or I could plug it into my Poly End Poly 1, which does the same thing. It's just a little bit more, it's a little less featured. I think I can use my Expert Sleepers ES8 too, but just not, it wouldn't be as intuitive as MIDI would be coming out of the iPad. And of course, well, no, I wouldn't be able to plug it into like the Mod 32 without a adapter. But yeah, I could just plug straight like USB to iPad cable in there. The woman on the iPad is an advertisement for my own live chat.
10 o'clock appointment?
Here, we'll change it to this woman. There you go. Sorry, I'm going through these earlier comments. You can go really, really far with only, you can go really, really far with only free modules in VCV Rack. Like, I almost only have free modules, and it's overwhelming. Like, I cannot, I'm just like, dude, turn this down. now that I've scored a Soderbergh film. Thank you, Mike Norman. I appreciate it. Yeah, almost made an NFT video this week. Well, it would have taken more than this week. It was like I almost made an NFT video, but I feel like the craze is going to be over so fast that by the time I actually do research and interview people, it'll be on to something else, or there'll be some new factor to it. It's just one of those things that like you can't actually, My favorite modulation source is maths, to be honest. Like, if space wasn't an issue and if I was just obnoxiously rich, I'd have like an entire rack of maths. I love math so much. I need to get a de facto rampage because I know it's very similar. You know what, guys? I gotta pee really, really, really bad. I think I might get some bourbon too. I'll start talking shit. All right, I'll be right back. Enjoy the moment of. I like knowing that people are gonna tune in and just see like this mess. I'll turn it up to. Right, bless you, Lucy. All right. So I got this thing going on. Other than me not being able to sort out a chair. There we go. So I got this weird thing going on, right? Where like I've just been on like a pretty restrictive calorie diet. I always am. Like I'm just always doing that. There's no particular reason. And I've been into pretzels, and I've been like weighing my pretzels. And for some reason, I just really like pretzels now. Pretzels and bourbon. And so the other day, I noticed my I couldn't find any of my pretzels. And I was like, I bought like bulk pretzels. I bought like a bunch of bags of them when they were on sale. And I was really confused. And my mother had been over. And I was like, well, maybe she just like put them somewhere or took them or some weird shit. And then yesterday, 2 days ago, went to the grocery store, bought a big old bag of pretzel sticks. Just went up there to get them. Fucking gone. Pretzels are disappearing out of my kitchen. What do you do? What do you do when pretzels when you just cannot keep a pretzel in the house without it just vanishing? There's no explanation for it at this point. I like went upstairs and I was just literally like, you gotta be kidding me. Like I think my house is being robbed and they're only taking pretzels. Yeah, so like what do I have? Yeah, I have soft tube modular. I wasn't that into it, to be honest. Yes, I'm positive I'm not eating pretzels because before I eat them, I weigh them, right? I like pour them into a bowl and weigh them on like a digital scale to make sure that I'm like eating some staying under my calorie limit. It's so bizarre. I feel like if I was sleep eating pretzels, I would wake up with like a really salty mouth. Maybe I went to sleep. And the only difference between reality and dream is that in dream, there are no pretzels. No, I don't have any students here at the moment. Well, it's not students, they're just like studio residency people. I don't have any here at the moment now. They were here a couple weeks ago. I had some. And I don't know when the next ones are coming, but yeah, I have like an MS-2000 in a rack right down there. I don't know. If you want like, if you like the MS-2000, like if you actually like it, and it's something you dig, I'd get it. I feel like now there's enough digital synths out there to, I don't know, what does an MS-2000 go for? If I were on Price is Right, I would say $400, right? And for $400, you're getting close to a Cobalt. You're getting close to like a modern digital synth. And the Cobalt, obviously, well, I don't know, is the Cobalt more? I just feel like digital synths are just now becoming phenomenal due to, just microchips being so much more powerful and affordable. Yeah. Damn, I'm good. $400. Maybe I should have a synth Price is Right someday. Invite all the synth YouTubers on. Yeah, I did have that weird. I totally forgot about that. I did have like just watching something move across a shelf while I was recording a video a couple weeks ago. Yeah, so I played with the Buchla. I definitely played with the Buchla. I have a friend in California who has a setup, and I don't know. I think if I had one, if I was like locked in a room with one for a couple days, it would end up being like my thing. I would love it, but I feel like you can't really do this with a Buchla. I feel like it's more like, I feel like if I were a billionaire who didn't care about poor people, I would I would have like this, and then I would have a Buchla system for drums, and then some sort of like way to clock them all together. I feel like I would use Buchla for drums and experimental sounds and sound design, and I would use this for like actual listenable things. The Cobalt over the Hydrasynth. No, I'd get the Hydrasynth. I'd get, if it's the Hydrasynth's right there, I would get the Hydrasynth if you can afford the actual keyboard, like with the polyphonic aftertouch, and it's a really expressive synth. Yeah, I would not, like I can't imagine getting a Cobalt keyboard. Like I can imagine getting a Cobalt like I have the rack, and that's nice, but I couldn't imagine it in a keyboard, whereas I feel like Hydrasynth is just made for the keyboard, and the rack is, I don't know. I wanted a rack initially. That was like the one that I was going to get, and when I played the keyboard at NAMM 2020, I was just like, oh, I need the keyboard. Like, it's so much. That Kilpatrick only plays major and minor melodies. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, it wouldn't blend with this in any way. It's not. It might be customizable enough if I use like the little Java app, but I still don't think it is. I think it's just sort of random within certain limits. It's good for percussion. It's good for like creating weird, like as you could see that thing going through the heart, like it would be like be making all sorts of sounds. But my favorite sequencer. My favorite sequencer, that's a tough one. Like digital sequencer, or like hardware sequencer, probably the Polyend Seek, to be honest. I just feel like it's so fucking powerful. What would be my hot take on NFTs? Yeah, my hot take on NFTs. I'm not a fan of them at all, just because the environmental impact is insane, and I think it's kind of shit to like create artificial scarcity on a digital file, like for the richest person to afford. I don't know. It's just like I feel like after Napster and after piracy happened, we like kind of made it we kind of made it pretty far towards socialized copyright, which was like a pipe dream when I was like, 21. It was like something I imagined in a distant utopian future. And we don't have socialized copyright now, but it was something that I thought of, and I was imagining, a functional government that in ASCAP and things like that, and instead of doing what they do, they basically were Spotify, where you could just listen to anything whenever you wanted to, and everybody paid a little internet tax. We're not that far from that right now. Like, we're so much closer than we used to be when you like bought CDs or Rhea sued you. You got a dry throat? Lucy's wheezing. So NFTs are just like, I feel like they're just a 180 in that, and I feel I've argued with a lot of artists in the past couple days. I had made a tweet that had like 2,500 likes, or it was this viral tweet where I just did some rough math and was like, holy shit, it would take like 10 to 15 times more energy to make a song than it would be to just mint and sell the NFT that wasn't even the song file. It would just be this token that comes with it. Or sorry, I said that backwards. It would take 10 to 15 times more energy to just to mint that file than it would be to make the song running this whole studio. And such a fucking waste. It's so stupid. It's just so stupid. And so, like, I don't know. And of course, I feel like anytime that you criticize anything with cryptocurrency, you just get assaulted by people who are like, you don't understand how blockchain works. And it's like, man, I was in on Bitcoin in 2010. Like I've been in on this for a long time. I understand how it works. There's a lot of promises, and I just don't see them coming through. And I mean, I don't know how much. I'm trying to think of my if the audience here is that like embedded in there to where we could talk about like proof of stake and proof of work systems and stuff like that in blockchain. But yeah, anyway, NFTs, I just think it's like really selfish. Not only for the environmental impact, but I feel like it's just like a step backwards, and I think it's fucking lazy. I think that, like, you know, artists coming forward and being like, I've decided to do an NFT. It's like, cool. So you went to a website and you clicked a button and you paid, you know, $200 gas fee to like mint something you already created. Like, how is that like a treat to anybody? I don't know. It's just it's funny how, like, whenever I make a video on any sort of serious topic, it's funny how anti-capitalist everybody is. And on my Twitter and everywhere else, it's funny how many artists just talk about how capitalism is this boot on their throat, preventing them from making a living. And then the moment they have like a chance to create artificial scarcity and put it on the market for a rich person to buy, they're fucking venture capitalists. It's obnoxious. It's disappointing. That's the best way I could put it. Like, I'm not going to go into detail with artists I've talked to, but it's just disappointing because it's just like people just making up garbage reasons. Another thing that I keep seeing is like artists, I'll tell them, I'll even private message them and I'll be like, hey man, like, read this, like read what this does to the environment and, you know, these other issues. And they're like, they'll be like, well, I'm weighing both sides of the argument. It's like, well, no, first of all, you're not, because you're putting a video out, like, you're putting an NFT out. But on the other end of it, like, what is the other side of the argument? Like, NFT affects the environment far worse than vinyl, believe it or not. That's the sad thing. Like, vinyl is preferred. That's the fucking tragedy, right? Because once you make an NFT, it's on that blockchain forever. Like, it just, you're adding another kink to this massive chain, and that gets traded constantly. And so it's worse, and you can't go back. And if you make an NFT now, even though people say like, oh, it's going to be environmentally friendly when we get to Ethereum 2.0 and all of it, which, you know, when it happens, I'll believe it when it happens. I have no reason to have faith otherwise, you know. But if you make an NFT now, it's on that blockchain. Like, it's on the proof of work blockchain, and it's going to be bad for the environment for the rest of the time. And there are no takebacks. That's the whole point of blockchain, is you can't just say, I've decided this is a bad idea, I want out. No, you've fucked the earth over for as long as that blockchain exists, and your name's attached to it. No, don't feel bad for asking. Like, this has been honestly, it's been a really big Twitter thing this week. Yeah. It's been, like, I've been talking about a whole bunch, and it's a good conversation to have, because I feel like the more people who understand this, you know, then the more they'll ostracize people for doing it. And, like, this morning, I read the Beeple news, and, like, Mike Beeple, like I've known him for years. He like helped me out with a visual project ages ago. And we used to like swap Cinema 4D files, and like he's from Wisconsin. And I mean I haven't talked to him in a really long time, but to hear that he made $69 million off of, you know, a collection of NFTs this morning. You know, I knew he's a great dad. He's a great husband. Like, he cares about his family so much. He's such a nice guy. So I was so torn, because I was just like, how awesome for him to be the number one person to take advantage of this fad right now, even with the environmental costs and everything. Like, how amazing is it that Mike gets that chicken dinner? But at the same time, I'm like torn, because it's just like everything that he stood for. He's all like everything he's made. All of his dailies that he's made over the years on his Instagram and stuff like that, he's always given you the project files for free, and he's always been against copyright, and you know, and so it just seems like a strange, I don't know, it seems like a strange direction. But at the same time, like, how awesome is that? Like, his grandchildren are going to be taken care of as a result of that. Yeah. I think like it's I don't here's the thing, right? Is like I don't understand how it's an unpopular opinion. You know? Like I realize that I do have an unpopular opinion right now, because this is all the rage, but like how is it unpopular? Like, there's literally no reason to do any of this stuff. And I say this as somebody who like handmade for you know, multiple different albums. I handmade pre-order CD cases and things like that. Like, I've always tried to I've embellished scarcity. I've created scarcity before in physical, tangible things, because my fans really like it. They really love feeling special, and they, you know, those are the people who like I literally would have pre-orders for sale before everything was manufactured, and they'd like guess the URL and pre-order it before it was live and things like that. And they worked for that. That's like, you know, them being like that dedicated to the music, or to the art, to me as an artist. You know, they work for that. And then if they want to, I have some friends who are not my friends, they were my fans, but you know, there's people I could think of, I like don't want to name names, but there's people I could think of where like they collected everything I had, and then they just had a big eBay sale, and they made thousands of dollars, and they made so much money off of like just, you know, being camping out waiting for that pre-order. And that's very cool, and I totally support that. And like, I'm not anti-capitalism, but a fucking token, like a digital token that's like worse for the environment than literally anything that I could make tangibly, is just silly. It's just dumb. It's lazy. You know, an interesting... Oh, hey, Bill, how are you? Well, the whole point of an NFT, the whole reason it's so valuable is because you're creating that token that only you can own, right? It's that like encryption key that only you have. I guess it's not encryption key, but like it's just this thing that can't be copied because it has a unique identifier. But that's a serial number, you know? Like, you can buy a product that's commonly counterfeit, and you know, like I remember when I used to vape, I used to buy these like vape cartridges, and you would just literally like type in the unique number on there to make sure it wasn't counterfeit. Like, it's the same thing, but like one destroys the environment and the other doesn't destroy the environment nearly as much. So I think my issue is like, again, I'm not going to name names, but there's like an artist that I've really liked for years and years and years, who I kind of vaguely know personally. Don't worry, it's not you, Bill. There's an artist who I've liked for years and years and years, who I vaguely know personally, and yeah, and he jumped on the NFT thing, and he's always been so very, like, you know, he's always played like festivals in natural places and has been very like pro environment, and then he did this, and he kind of gave me that same like, well, I've been weighing both sides of the argument, and it's like, well, there aren't two sides of the argument. Like, it's bad for the environment, period. Like, right now it's bad for the environment. If you want to wait for proof of stake, then wait till then, but now it's bad. And like, it's so funny because when I listen to this artist's music, I think of like beautiful landscapes and stuff, and I thought about it this morning, and I was like, this actually fucking ruins it for me. Like, I'll never be able to go back now knowing that he did this. Like, you know what I mean? Just because he's always been such a tree hugger, and now like he was just like, yeah, but fuck Earth. There's money. I don't know. Sorry if I keep looking down. I'm not like responding to texts. This is all your chat right here. Yeah, so I mean, I'm really excited about a proof of stake blockchain system combined with a Spotify that doesn't have a dickhead running it. That sounds cool, you know? Like, I think there's potential in the technology. I just think that right now, it's just not, we're not close. Like, people say we're close. People have been saying that Ethereum 2.0 is like, you know, we're on the cusp, but no, too many people have invested too much money in mining to give up the proof of work blockchain. Like, that's just, I don't know. That's a good question about like how it is, about what you're saying about how like loss of touring and stuff. You know what though? When I made my vinyl video, a lot of people retweeted it. Like, a lot of artists retweeted it, and like they're like, yeah, and then made vinyl right after. You know, it's kind of like, I think just you like money. I think that's what's going on. By the way, Mr. Bill's in the chat here, and he actually cut off vinyl for a while until he found a more environmentally friendly plant. Which is really admirable. Like, taking a cut for the earth is something that most people don't do. Yeah, I wonder what Joe Rogan would think of NFTs. I don't think he would understand it. He would be like, wait a minute. So a fucking file is worth 69 million? That's fucking crazy. Like, he would just, that would be his entire response. No, cassettes. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there is some like dark world of cassettes, but I would imagine just because they have less mass that they're less harmful than vinyl. But cassettes also, I don't think they're using polyvinyl fluoride. The thing about vinyl is that it's just old. Like, it's just like before we knew how toxic shit was. You know, I mean, I guess, yeah, we didn't. Like, when vinyl was being made, look at it this way. In vinyl had been made for, I would say, decades, when people were getting lung cancer from blowing uranium into toys with a straw because it made them glow. Like that's when vinyl was like already established. And so it's like, yeah, we've learned a lot since then, and we did change from what was vinyl made out of? I'm sure when my live talking catches up with the chat, somebody will tell me, but what was it? Oh god, I love the word too. It's like some word that you would expect to be in like Portal 3 or something. Anyway, but yeah, and I mean, I could bring a box down of vinyl records that I own. You know, I haven't bought any in a long time, but now, well, it's not only that I own them, it's that I've made thousands. How about an unboxing video? Let's take a look at this new Zoom. So, like, I'm doing this, for anybody who hasn't been here from the beginning, I'm doing this, like, crazy adventure sampling video. Not video, but series. And, I was gonna use, like, a proper, really nice recorder, with an ambisonic microphone from Rode that I was very happy about. And, like, there's just this massive, like, production shortage, and so I have to use this thing until then. But I mean, this is still like a ridiculous looking recorder. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it has like session mode, it has podcast mode, it has field recording mode, and it has session mode. It feels kind of fucking cheap, to be honest, but it's ugly as fuck too. Sorry, Zoom. If this is half as good as, like, you know, half as good as I expect it to be, then it'll still be amazing. But yeah, this has like a touch screen, and then of course it has this like top capsule, which, how do I put that on? Here it is. All right, here we go. How does an XLR actually fit into that? I kind of wish that they all had this like XLR 1/4 inch hybrid, rather than only 2 of them being that, and then 4. And then there's another capsule they could put up here that's like a whole other thing. I have like a shotgun mic that fits this as well. Anyway, so this is what I'm using for like the first couple trips until the ambisonic microphones. But no, I'm not gonna knock it yet. I don't want to knock it yet. It looks, I mean, it's pretty ambitious. It has a touch screen, and I'm pretty cool. It has multi-tracking on it, so you could actually like just record a session if you wanted to, which is pretty dope, I suppose. It works as an audio interface. It feels cheap, but at the same time, I'm not gonna complain too much, because the whole reason I have this is to like go off way off the grid, and every pound counts. Can I change this from 90 to 120? Yes, I can. Cool. Yeah, well, anyway, apparently the noise floor on this is really good, so that's why I have it. So, sweet. That'll be fun. I was thinking about actually making I tested my 80-pound fucking e-bike today off trail, and like, it's nuts, but it survived. I've already changed the brake rotors and put a bunch of like work into it, and so I might actually go to a crazy wildlife refuge soon to do some sampling. That is the H8, or the new H8. No, just the H8. Yeah, feels cheap, but I mean, for the price. I don't know how much this thing costs, but I assume that it's like less than $500. Yeah, like, is this good looking? I feel like it's kind of cool looking when you like have it with this like Blade Runner angle here. I feel like it's pretty neat, but I don't know. Maybe I'll use it to record this patch and just record an hour of it and put it on my Patreon. And hello, Simon. Yeah, do you want me to change the scale of the melody? I can do that. That sounds like a good idea. Let's go to Ionian. Actually, Alien might be nice. Let's try that. I'm pretty sure it's in here somewhere. Alien is always like sad. I love it though. It's like spacey and sad. There we go. Why does this not sound right? Here. Maybe go to something that just matches the bass better. Like a pentatonic major, that would do it. Unless I've like lost my knowledge of music in the last hour. Yeah, so the reason I got the H8 is I was between like the F8, which is 32-bit, by the way, the new F8 or F6. No, F8 and F6. The new Zoom F8 and F6 are both 32-bit, which is I'd like to do a video on that one day. Like 32-bit, a good like example of 32-bit audio recording. A good like comparison would be like raw imaging. Like you could just get more dynamic range, and you don't really have to worry about. Yeah, like basically you could just record things really, really quiet, to where like something like a firework and something like just the air will all be of like the same. Like you won't actually lose any resolution in digital file when you do that. So you just have this crazy dynamic range. But I felt like that was a little crazy. And this one, I just wanted a stereo plus ambisonic input, and so yeah, it's just for ambisonic stuff. Oh, dude, my H6. I have an H6, and it's like not the new one, but the older one, and yeah, it's so fucked up. It has like scratches all over the screen. I think the screen's cracked. It has like scratches all over the front of it. Still works perfectly though. Right? Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about NI and isotope. I don't want to like. I feel like I'm stepping on Noir's feet by talking about synth news, but if I don't know, man. I pirate all of Isotope's stuff. I buy their stuff, but I pirate it all because I just cannot deal with iLock. And so if they get rid of iLock, then that's nice. But at the same time, I pirate all of Native Instruments stuff, which I own complete, and I buy it. But actually, I don't know if I bought the last upgrade, but I think I did. I don't know. Anyway, doesn't matter. But yeah, because their registration center has just fucked me over a couple times. Like where I've had like a really last minute session, and and then something would happen where like a contact library couldn't register, and I was just like, oh no. I don't think NI has the capital to buy Isotope, do they? I think it's a partnership. I mean, I'm talking out of my ass right now. I have no idea, but I can't imagine NI having the capital. Because NI just fired a bunch of people. Like I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I mean, it was like a year ago. But NI is like downsized quite a lot. Yeah, they really like Machine and Tractor were like their big sellers, and those things kind of puttered out a little bit. Dude, I'm like, I wonder how much they pay iLock. Like, I wonder if iLock makes more money than Steam does. Like, per sale. Because I was thinking about this. I was like, what if you just put audio apps on Steam? Like, what if just Cubase? And, I mean, I guess you could still, like, pirate stuff pretty easily. Like, Steam is kind of DRM, but Steam's more like an organizational thing. But, I really thought to myself, like, why don't we just have, like, a VST manager that's, like, one plugin that, like, yeah. I don't know, maybe every VST installation can be an NFT, and we could just fucking not have an Earth in 2 years. Oh, I have the Tascam, what is it called? I'd get up and I'm lazy. It's the one it's the Tascam set. It's like the boom recorder. It goes under your camera, and that thing is fucking miserable, man. Like I know their recorders are decent, like their field recorders, but their boom thing, like their actual like camera stuff. They sent one over, and I was like, oh nice. It'll be nice to like be able to see my VUs like right under the camera and stuff. And that thing just stops recording halfway through my monologues, and it's like made out of the type of material you would get out of something from like a Crane game. Like it's such a piece of shit. And I told them like I'm not gonna feature this ever. Like this thing is. Yeah, like I think like the best case scenario for like I think Steam's really nice for preventing piracy because of what you said, just because it's like so convenient. Like it's just so I remember installing games as like a nightmare in like 2004. Like it was literally so difficult to like get something running, and oh yeah, and now it's obviously much easier. And they're like winter or seasonal sales and stuff like that obviously help. Yeah, like really, if I were a pirate for games and stuff like that, I think like I would always be battling laziness. I would always just be like, well, I could just pay $12 for the game, and not have to deal with torrents and worrying about viruses or anything. Thank you, PK. Need to go back to Guitar Center. I assume that's what you mean. Thinking about returning Keystep Pro and getting Matriarch to integrate with a large case like yours, or should I get Hydra? Hydra. I'd get a Hydra synth if you're returning the Keystep Pro. Yeah, the Hydra synth is like that thing's. It's pretty radical. I mean, it's just like very different than a lot of other things. I hope it's like the beginning of a trend. I wish I had more time to play with mine, to be honest. Right, yeah, I think I did too. I think I had like some games that I actually bought the hard copy of. I feel like I bought Rise of Nations like 4 times in my life. I definitely bought Minecraft like a bunch. Like I forgot my login information once and like had a different email or some shit, and I was just like, whatever, and just bought a new one. And then I bought it for Xbox, and then I bought it for some other system. You know, just like I feel like I bought Minecraft so many times. Yeah, G2A. I bought some things off of G2A if it was like a really overpriced early access game. I don't remember what it was, but it was something that was just like so overpriced on Steam at the moment, and I was just like, no. But I don't make a habit of it. Now that I like have a personal relationship with game developers, I think I understand a lot more how damaging something like that is. Yeah, Hydrosynth does not have a sequencer, but it makes me. I wonder if the rack version does. It looks like it does, but I think it's just like a lazy keypad or a lazy keyboard with pads. But it might. The rack version may have a sequencer. But if it does, it's shit. I mean, if it does, it's like not like one that you would actually really use. Yeah, I wondered what FL Studio's gonna do, because like FL Studio did, when you look at like the amount of money that Cubase and Ableton charges for updates, and FL Studio's just like, nope, another free one. But they're trying to monetize things with what's that plugin? They have that plugin where you could like buy sample packs. I forgot what it is. It's like super simple. Like you can't really go deep with it. I think it's just for like complete beginners, which is fine. But yeah, I think they're trying to creatively monetize things. By the way, do any of my viewers, I don't know how many people are on this stream right now, 179. Do any of my viewers want to buy FL Studio? Are you interested in buying FL Studio? Something, I don't know if you know this, but on my Patreon, something I do typically is I will ask for, I'll like find affiliate partnerships, and I'll be like, hey, could I get 100% of the affiliate discount, like the money that I would make, can I put that onto the discount for my patrons? So that way, like, if you got 5% off with my discount code, then I'd get 5% of your sale. That way you would get 10% off and I would get nothing, other than your patron money, which I appreciate. Anyway, FL Studio is, I haven't responded to some emails. I've been very bad with correspondence this week, but FL Studio is one of the companies that could possibly do that. And I was just wondering if people on my channel wanted to buy FL Studio, because if so, I could probably get maybe 10%, maybe 15% off. Yeah, and I feel like if you, FL does go on sale from time to time, like deep sales, like 50% off. I feel like that might be a good time to just like 50% off plus, you know, a good 10 to 15% off and get yourself a pretty cheap DAW. Yeah, so like FL Studio has a lot of updates. They update constantly. They update enough, frequently enough, and they have enough like online things. Like they have a lot of things where if you're, you know, using certain drum machines that come with it or stuff, yeah, you can download presets from the community, which is really nice. I just feel like FL Studio is one of those, like if you are a software pirate, which we're not going to get into an ethical discussion about that, but if you are, like if you don't pay for software, I feel like FL Studio has a pretty damn good argument to like own it, just because they have lifetime free updates and like, you know, you just never, like I just feel like even if you don't care about paying for software, I feel like just the convenience of that, you know. Sort of what we were talking about earlier with Steam, or like, you know, like if a movie you want to watch is on Netflix, you might as well just, you know, watch on Netflix rather than pirate it. Yeah, Reaper's nice too. And I wonder how they stay afloat, because they definitely... Good luck on your midterm. Bitwig is interesting. I like Bitwig, but I don't yeah, I just don't use it. Maybe I'm just not used to it enough. I have it, and I did like part of a video where I covered like new software. I did like a couple generative patches in it, but I don't think I've opened it since. So, ambisonic recording, I'm new to. I'm not that familiar, you know, I'm not that used to it. But I figured that, like, if I'm going to these places that have absolutely no, you know, if I'm actually able to get to a place that has no noise floor at all from humans, if it's 100% natural, I might as well be, you know, using a really nice ambisonic microphone, because those types of recordings are actually hard to come by. Like, you know, the people who get those types of recordings, like usually like somebody from a sound design library, they're not going to go that far out. And then, you know, somebody from, you know, like a nature person, or, you know, a biologist who goes out in nature to study something, they usually don't have really nice microphones, so, or they're not even recording. So yeah, I figured that ambisonic would be the way to go. And I don't know how I was going to monitor it. I talked to some of the people over at Rode, and I asked them like what I should use, and they're like, the noise floor on most of the recorders are about the same as long as you have enough inputs. Obviously, the older Zoom recorders, like the H4, I believe, and behind that, they had a pretty high noise floor, but the newer ones, they've done a pretty good job. Anyway, so it would be like hooking the ambisonic mic into 4 of the inputs here. And I think the goal is to just have them... this has ambisonic mode as well. I haven't looked at it. I haven't even turned this thing on yet, but... yeah, I think you just basically want everything recording at the highest grade possible. And then in Rode software, you can actually do all the other stuff. And I haven't done this yet again because they're like their mics are like behind in production, so I'm waiting till April to get one. But you can even like emulate a shotgun mic. Like you could apparently, this is allegedly, I could put like a Rode mic, on the shelf over there, or sorry, put a ambisonic mic on the shelf over there, and with Rode's technology, I could just talk, and then I could turn it into a shotgun mic in post, especially if it's being recorded with 32-bit, where I can take lower, things that were recorded lower on the end of the amplitude, and then push it really high up without losing any quality. This video was going to be a machine drum video. I made a post on my Patreon asking what people wanted, and machine drum, the new machine drum firmware, which is right there, it's machine drum. New machine drum firmware was in the lead, and then beads. Just neck and neck, and then Beads started winning. Beads won by like 3 or 4, and that's when I started hooking up all these cameras and stuff, and I was like, all right, Beads is gonna win. And then Machine Drum won by like 1 or 2 votes at the last minute. Fucking fake voter fraud, absentee ballots, stop the vote. Yeah, the Machine Drum actually won, but it was just I had already set the stuff up, and I was like, all right, well, maybe next week or the week after that or whenever. Also, another problem with the machine drum at the moment is that if I were to use it, if I were to turn it on and use it, which is what I would have done, you would have to like endure an hour of me remembering how to do all that. So, yeah, because the machine drum's not a user-friendly device in my opinion, and so I would not only that, but now I have like these new FM oscillators and crazy things like that are coming from third-party firmware. It would probably be a pretty dry stream, so I'd like to play with it first, at least. Sit at the kitchen table with it for a moment. Electron fraud. Yeah, man, that Empress, that beautiful little Empress guy down there. I don't know what the ETA is. I don't know. I'll tell you one thing. Empress is so hardcore about not having a bug in anything they release. And maybe they do, maybe they end up having a bug, but they're just very, very like, no, we're not going to release something with a problem. We're not going to push it out. However, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this on this stream, but if you want this thing, which you do, you're going to want it. If you want this thing, and if you could find it on pre-order, now is the time to do that, because I have a very, I have confidence that on release date, you're not going to be able to find one for a while. You are hearing Mutable Instruments Beads. It's right here. It's if I were to turn the reverb down, or the pitch down, Turn the reverb back up with the pitch down. And turn the pitch back up. That's the beads. Rhythm versus machine drum. For my own music, if I'm to sit down and make music, analog rhythm. Honestly, the machine drum is so unique, but just usable not as much as the rhythm. And the rhythm has like sampling plus analog oscillators. The rhythm does sound amazing. It is an amazing drum machine. I still have to make one. I don't really have a reason to get to make two. But Empress versus M Turbo Verb. I mean, it's kind of a bad comparison because one's like a VST plugin and the other one's a pedal. I mean, M Turbo Verb, but probably because of the interface, right? Because you could make your own algorithms on it. Whereas Empress is, you know, if you could make your own algorithms on a pedal, it would have to be like the size of your room. But I mean, yeah, if I had to use one or the other for some sort of advanced, really nice reverb application, I suppose I'd use M Turbo Verb. Yeah, machine drum is Travis. And as long ago as the machine drum came out, I was touring with Travis before Electron released that. Because I remember his reaction to it. I remember Travis just being like, what the fuck? Like, this is my artist name. Like, and he was like, you know, he wasn't as established as he is now, but we were definitely... Like, we were touring, so he was somewhat established. Yeah, Beads is helping the bell sound cooler. Without Beads, it would just be like, I don't know, I guess I could turn the feedback all the way down. I could turn this all the way down. The bell sound, sorry, you would just hear rings, which is up here. You're still hearing a little bit of like granular echo on it. I'm gonna turn the feedback up. And then the reverb. And then the pitching. Create that shimmer. I used samples earlier. I kind of, when I use samples in Modular, yeah, when I use samples in a Modular workflow, it's usually just because, like, as a placeholder before I want to use like an oscillator and an envelope. But it's nothing against it. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's just not the place. But I mean, I do have 2 different samplers. 3, I guess, if you count the Nebula. Yeah, I toured with Travis a bunch. I played a lot of shows with Travis. I don't know when the last one was, but you know, as like we both got booking agents, and then booking agents don't want to work together, and you know, it like once it got like a little more political with the industry, it kind of became harder to play a show with him. But before that, we played together constantly. Like, Travis is truly one of my best friends in the world. Speaking of artist names, would you comment on whether you suggest solo artists use an alias versus real names? I don't really know. And that's a hard question. I guess it just depends on the person. Because, like, what's weird to me now is now that I have this channel, so many people to this day, they'll say in the comments of my channel, they'll be like, I've been watching this channel for a year and I just figured out you're the flashbulb. Which, like, really made me think, like, having an alias is way more detrimental than I thought it would be, unless I wanted to be like separated from the two, you know? Yeah, and I've played shows before, and it's funny because like I feel like this channel actually got way more successful in 2020 when shows weren't happening. But I played shows before where somebody came because I was Ben Jordan, the Ben and Gear guy, and then put it together once they like got to the show and saw, you know, because I said something on my channel that I was playing a show, and they'd come and then they'd see that the flashbulb was playing, and they like, I remember seeing a guy in California was like, "Oh, you're playing with the flashbulb," and I was like, "Yeah." Like, I am the flashbulb. Yeah. This is the Kilpatrick Audio K4815 pattern generator. The hologram microcosm looks really nice. They will never work with me again after my Infinite Jets review, unfortunately. I actually reached out to them and I was like, "Do you want to do a redemption video?" And they were like, "No." I was like, "Okay." I was like, because I told them they were pretty salty about the Infinite Jets thing, and I told them like, "Hey, I would, you know, your next pedal, I'm sure is going to be great. You're going to learn from your mistakes, and I'll be more than happy to feature it and, you know, put a lot of work into a review." But they were just, you know, they're nice. They weren't like me. They weren't like "fuck you," but they're definitely a little salty about the Infinite Jets review, which, you know, I think Infinite Jets is not a good pedal, so. Man, I miss Detroit shows. Oh, you know what? I played a Detroit show in 2020. No, 2019. I played a Detroit show. Can you believe it? I played a show in Detroit in 2019. The guy who threw all, I don't know if you know who these people are, but the guy who threw all of the Big Demph after parties, the Paranormal Society Phil guy, his name's Phil, he's an economics professor now, but he's still like a music promoter, and he got married, and he had this like kind of nice all-star lineup of wedding bands that he, you know, I got paid well for it and stuff, and it was literally the last show on that tour, and it was kind of funny to play a show in Detroit that was at a wedding, and it was like at a wedding venue. It wasn't like a rave, it was like at a wedding venue on a wedding stage. Like it was interesting. It was an experience. It was my first wedding, but I feel like I was kind of honored to play his wedding, you know what I mean, just because the Rolodex that guy has, I was just like, oh, that's really nice. Yeah, watch my Infinite Jets video if you want to know why I didn't like it. Yeah, I just wasn't inspired by it at all, and the amplifiers on it were just so cheap. It like ruined the sound of my guitar. It's funny too because I put so much work in that video. That was like when my channel was like kind of in the beginning stages, and I was really, really trying to make like an impactful video. And the problem with that is that if you search Infinite Jets review, I think the first result that you see come up is mine on YouTube, because, you know, when you make a salty review about something, or when you make a bad review, people are more interested in it. You know, it just keeps people entertained, and so therefore it ends up higher on the algorithm. And I feel truly bad about that. Like, I've thought about taking it down a couple times, but at the same time, I don't like the pedal. I think the pedal's not good. And so You know, it's like, what do I take down every review that I have criticism? That's not good. That's not what I want to do. So, uh, yeah, I don't know. I feel really, really bad though, because they're based in Knoxville, Tennessee. Um, and it's just a small company. And it was the first time I mean, here's what happened. I made the review for the pedal, right? Or I bought the pedal, right? Bought the pedal, reviewed it, and was so hesitant about making a bad review that I like emailed them repeatedly. I think like 2 times in a weekend I emailed them, saying, "Hey, I have this issue. I have this issue. I have this issue." And the only way I could get in contact with them was through their contact form on their website. And finally, I drove all the way across to the other side of Atlanta to a shop that had one in stock, so I could see if mine was just fucked up. Like, that's how I went to really great lengths to make sure that I wasn't like giving them a bad review that they didn't deserve. But sure enough, it was like the exact same issue that I had with the pedal in the store. And so made the video, and like a day later got an email from them that was just like, you know, upset. And I don't know. And I was just like, well, you could have responded to my email when I was telling you I was reviewing the pedal and I had these issues. But apparently something happened with the website and they didn't get it. And so, but yeah, so like hearing from them and then working with companies like Empress who are way bigger. You know, like Empress is like a bigger company. I mean, Empress isn't like a conglomerate, but Empress is like a bigger company. They have, you know, much higher sales than Hologram does. And I guess just like getting more intimate with the process of how the pedal industry works, or the indie pedal industry works, I felt really bad because like I really, really fucked up their money by making a bad review, you know? Yeah, no, it just made me think a lot about like the channel, and it made me think that like, you know, because a company like that isn't like when I reviewed what the fuck's the name of that thing, that new Roland MIDI guitar thing that came out in 2020. When I reviewed that, like Roland's still gonna be fine with my bad review. Nobody cares, you know. I didn't like it, and Roland is going to be more than okay. But yeah, you know, I feel like when a company has 1/20th the amount of followers that you have, and you give them a bad review, you may actually be sinking that company. And the thing is that they are a good company, and they really, and like the new Microcosm, I think that's what it's called, right? The new Microcosm pedal, from everything I've heard from like Noir playing with it, everybody else, like everybody has great things to say about it. And even in my Infinite Jets video, I said, look, like I think the next thing they make is going to be amazing, but this one just isn't. So I don't know. It's weird. It was weird to like feel the politics of this industry for the first time in that regard. Yeah, I still love the Medusa. I think the Medusa's one of my favorite synths I've ever played with. It's so unique. No, I haven't changed my mind on the Roland guitar, MIDI guitar thing. Or Boss, I guess. No. Nope. I think if in some alternative universe, if I were to play a live show tomorrow, I think I would probably still use my VG99, which is so old. You know, it's from like 2006 or something. It's kind of funny. My dad's playing a show with his band outdoors. It's at this like outdoor venue that's like near a massive like raging river, and it's so nice. And like down here in Georgia, by the way, it's like 78 degrees today. It's really nice. And I was so tempted to be like, I don't know, like, you know, I was so tempted to be like, maybe I'll play can I open? Like, just, I don't know. But obviously, like, that's a lot of work that I'm not even thinking about. I just was like, oh man, it feel good to perform in front of an audience again. Yeah, well, so to be honest, I offered to review the microcosm. I was more than happy to do it, and to be totally honest, like, whatever I did, I feel like I'm just honest on this channel to the point of where it hurts me. But to be totally honest, like, reviewing pedals isn't my favorite thing to do in the world. Like, I use them. I have like a set of pedals that I use upstairs, generally just to practice and to like do looping stuff. And that's about it. And like there's some amazing pedals that I have that were sent to me that I've reviewed and stuff, but I just don't use them often. And it's not because they're bad. It's just because I'm not used to them, or just because could be as easy as like I just have something that already does that function. And so like the reality is that I probably wouldn't use the microcosm that much, especially when I have shit like this. It's just like I probably wouldn't use it, but it is a really interesting pedal. And so I offered to them. I offered to review an NFR or review a loaner and send it back, or even I would even buy one. But I think that they don't want my like, I think that like if I did another review, and let's say it was even a good review, I feel like that would still point back. It would still add more attention to the other one that was bad. And my bad review on the Infinite Jets was not only because it was an uninspiring pedal, it was because like the DA or the 80s on it, the somewhere in that circuitry, it was just bad and really messed up the sound of my guitar. And so it was like, I don't know, I could understand their point of view. I think they just don't want anything to do with my channel, which is like, which is understandable, I guess. I have performed on acid before. In Washington State. And I remember a year later, I was in Washington again, and someone, like the promoter, was listening to my set from the year before and was playing it for me. And I was like, my God, that's terrible. What was I doing? Like, it was just a really bad set. And I was just like, okay. And I never took acid before performing after that. Thank you very much, Frosty. Frosty. I feel like just calling somebody that as a first name basis. Multi-effects pedals are known for not having the best reverbs, but out of them all, which do you think comes out on top? Maybe the Zoya or Bebo IRs? The Zoya? I guess it depends on what you mean by multi-effects. Infinite Jets. Specular Tempest is an echo and reverb pedal. That is the second best to the Empress Reverb, in my opinion. It's a pretty brilliant pedal. I did a review on it. Definitely check it out if you want. I mean, it's a mind-blowing pedal. Zoya, I would say, out of like a full, like if you actually want to just make, 10 patches or 20 patches that, one is distortion with flanger with reverb on the end of it, then I would say Zoya would for sure be that. I can't really think of anything. Yeah, because like, yeah, even in the higher end ones, like other than that, I think you would have to go to like an Eventide H7000 or something, or an H8000 or an H9000, which is like $4,000 to $5,000. So the Zoya was probably the answer you're looking for. And the Zoya Hall and the Zoya plates are really good. However, just so you know, the Empress Reverb, since I know a lot of people have been like, well, why would I buy an Empress Reverb when I could just buy a Zoya and just make a reverb patch? And the Empress Reverb has a lot of algorithms, and the Zoya doesn't. The Zoya does have multiple reverb algorithms, and it has ones that are more like CPU friendly and ones that are like more hardcore. And it is an amazing reverb that's better than most pedals. But just so you know, if you're only after reverb, then you want the Empress Reverb. But if you're after a multi-effects pedal, then the Zoya is for you. Bad reactions with companies sponsoring reviews. I have companies that drive me fucking crazy. Like, I have companies that literally email me every 48 hours being like, did you read the last email? Did you read the last email? When, like, I've responded once saying I'm not interested, or I've just, like, a lot of companies want to get you, like, involved in, like, a stupid affiliate program or something. And I'll say no. And there are companies where, like, if a company wants me to make a video on something that's just not in my horizon at all, like if I have this plan, if I'm like, okay, my next 4 videos are going to be this, like right now, let's say, like I'm like, okay, my next video my next video or 2 videos will likely be me going out to a very far away remote place on an electronic bike, recording nature sounds. And that's what I have planned. And let's say a company came along and was like, hey, we have this really awesome audio interface, or we have this really awesome module coming out in, it's going to be open for pre-order in 2-3 weeks, and we want you to make a video. And if they sent it over, and if I really liked it, if I was like, this is actually an awesome thing, but I have these other videos, that's when I'll take money for a review. Like that's what it takes, which happens a little more than you would imagine, just because I try to schedule things out pretty far. So it's like, if it's that urgency where I'm like pausing another video for another one, then I'm like, okay, but you're gonna have to pay a day rate for me to do this. And so since that's usually the setup, I usually already have a repertoire with the company to some extent, to where I'm happy with them. To where, like, there's not going to be any miscommunication. One issue that I would say, like, the only thing that I would really complain about on this channel in regards to companies was a Curiosity Stream. Like, I really like Curiosity Stream. Again, like, if I ever do a sponsorship, it's never with anything I won't use. You'll never see me do a stamps.com sponsorship. You'll never see me do like a fucking food subscription service or anything, unless I really like it. And so Curiosity Stream, I actually watched a lot of the programs. I would, like, eat dinner and watch Curiosity Stream. And it was also dirt cheap. It's so cheap, or at least when I was doing it, it was. I don't know what it is now. And so I did an affiliate thing with them. And they like changed the terms of their agreement while, it's weird, because when you say, hey, check out Curiosity Stream and I have an affiliate program and this and that, that's forever. Like, as long as my channel exists, that's there. And so they changed their terms like a couple months after I made the videos drastically. Like, one was actually working out for me very well. The other one, like, took them out of consideration for me to even mention them in the channel. And when they did that, they fucking, like, here's another thing about I hate to just bitch, but you asked. So they had this, they had these fucking rules, like, through this affiliate company that they used, where, like, I couldn't have a Curiosity Stream link. I couldn't have a code. I couldn't be like, go to Curiosity Stream and type in Ben Jordan as your coupon. No, it was this weird link that said, like, Androsers and then, like, some sort of, like, 128 character thing afterwards. And it was just so shady looking. And I was just like, this isn't helping. Like, if you guys want to, like, get more subscribers, like, you need to be a little bit more, I need to have some sort of personalized thing for my viewers. And they were just rigid on it. They're like, no, this is the way it is. We can't do anything about it. And so, sure enough, they changed the terms of it. And then Adam Neely gets his own fucking Curiosity Stream code. They put one of his shows on this like new channel that they're running. Like they just basically form an alliance with him, and like I love Adam to death. Adam is a genius, he's great, but he's also my competitor. And it was just like, you assholes, you can't like give my competitor all of these things that you're telling me is not possible with your affiliate program. And so I told him to fuck off. That was the end of that. It was like the end of my Curiosity Stream. I mean, I still am a member of Curiosity Stream, and I still watch them from time to time, but that was I was just like, you guys are absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, so any Strymon reverb is not gonna match up to the Empress. I've played with them all. Sorry. Unless you like Strymon algorithms, but in terms of like an algorithm that you can't get to the bottom of, to one where you can't hear the comb filters or the delays, then yeah, Empress is gonna win. Oh man, I'd love to do food reviews. So, I feel like my iPad and my computer over here are very yeah, well, you know what the funny thing is I've been I feel like this is just like something I posted about this on my Patreon but not public. I've talked to a couple different streaming companies about the existentialism thing, and I wasn't really happy with any of the deals, but Nebula wasn't one of them. I kind of thought that Nebula would be interested in that, but they weren't. Like bigger companies were. Well, you know, like a lot of times, and this comes from like years and years and years of working in advertising as a composer, which is like what I did ages ago, right? I mean, I still do it every now and then if it's something I really like, but generally no. I would write music on an advertisement, and in that and between me and the actual, let's just say it's the director of the spot, but you know, between me and the company, there's never less than 20 people. And not necessarily 20 middlemen. It wasn't necessarily like a totem pole, but it was like you had an agency that hired this many people, and then they reported to another agency, which reported to another agency. And at the end of the day, I always thought to myself, like, if you just paid me 5% of what your overall music budget is, I would make more money, and we would have a direct communication, and your ad would be better, and you'd sell more fucking cars. But instead, we just have this, like, you know, a bunch of people who are like, you know, have their own drama and have their own incompetence in between us, and it gets so convoluted that art is never made, and it's just a service, and I'm doing it for a paycheck so I can continue making flashbulb music without, you know, having to worry about, you know, being kicked out of my apartment at the time or whatever it was. And I feel like the YouTube ad world is the exact same thing, or like the affiliate world is the exact same thing. Like, anybody I talked to directly from Curiosity Stream, they told me to go through this company to, you know, a different company to deal with my affiliate sponsorship. And then like that company had like all these people who talked to me, and then that, you know, they had like assistants, and then they would be out of work from Monday to Wednesday, and then I have to wait till this day, you know, and just things like that, where it's just like, if somebody from Curiosity Stream was just hired to deal with YouTube, like they would make so much more money, and so would I. But nope. Like, but what at the same time, it's like these big companies just, you know, pay the salary of a lot of people who don't really need to be hired. So making music for ads, I want to do a video on this someday. Because I think the industry's dead. I think the industry's like belly up. In any way where I would tell anybody to ever get into it, right? But there was a time when I was churning out like maybe 2 a week, probably, like 2 30-second spots or 60-second spots a week. And the crazy thing about the ad industry is that once you're actually like embedded in it, and once you're actually called on for every single spot that comes in, the deadlines are really crazy. The money is really good for the amount of time you're working because the deadlines are so crazy. So you can't obsess with something. Like if you get hired on a feature film, you got like, 6 months to make 35 minutes of music cues. With ads, you got like 24 hours, sometimes 48, sometimes a whole week if you're lucky. And so the turnaround times are really fast, and it's really stressful, and everybody is filleting the person above them because it's an agency that's hiring another agency that's hiring another agency, and everybody needs to stay afloat. So everybody is just really, really making sure that they don't disappoint their clients. And so it's high stress, and it's a really fast turnaround. And at the same time, you'll get jobs where it's like, we need country music that turns into dubstep at the 12th second, and then at 21.30, 21 seconds and a half, we need it to turn back into country, and then end with a positive note that also blends with the brand Sting, And so like, this is crazy. This is like boot camp. This is musical boot camp. This is like a challenge that they give you. And that's, I really hated it. And when I wrote on things that ended up getting denied or needed a lot of revisions, or when I even read like some of the criticism and thought it was really unfair, I had a difficult time. But once I realized how much of a boot camp it was and how much it actually equipped me with like practice and things that I would never ever think about doing. Like I would never think about making a fucking marching band song that, turned into like, a happy folk ending. Like never in my life would I ever do that for any reason. I might think of it for like a funny reason in my kitchen and then never actually go down to the studio. But so to actually do that, you learn so much, and you end up having to like find new places to take inspiration from. And so it's like changed the way that I listen to music too. And so for all those reasons, I don't regret it one bit. I think that I always looked at it, I would give myself a timer even. Sometimes if I had more than enough time to work on an ad, I would give myself a timer and be like, hey, I'm going to give myself 3 hours to work on this spot, because I know that because I have 2 days to do it, and I know that if I spend 2 days to do it, I'm going to overthink it. And the director, in my terms of music knowledge and in my terms of like what I know about how music cues work, I'm up here and the director's here, because the director's just out of college and he wanted to be a film director, but he ended up getting hired by an ad agency. So it's like, one of those things where it's just like, you need to just provide a service. And then, the more that I was able to do that, then the more I was able to make flashbulb albums that, how do I describe this? Like Arboreal, when I made Arboreal, for those of you familiar with that album, like that was not an album that like would sell well, right? I mean, it ended up selling really great, but making that album was like very conceptual and weird and expensive. Or making Piety of Ashes. Piety of Ashes cost me over $100,000 to make. It's a very expensive album. There's orchestras in it. There's so much shit going on. And not only that, but I only used like 20% of the overall recorded material in the sessions because I wanted to go all out and make this album. And so that was subsidized by doing, client work. And it's interesting because like I feel like albums like Arboreal, and I feel like all these albums that I made that like end up being like the iconic ones, like Carlian Selections or things like that, like these albums that end up being like my iconic albums are the ones that people always say that's the best work of his. They're when I was whoring myself out to an industry that supported me, so therefore I didn't give a fuck what people thought about my music. I was like, I'm gonna make an album, I'm gonna put it out, and if they don't like it, fuck them, I don't care. Because I'm making, it was interesting because I didn't have this like, oh, this song has to be a banger, and then I'd better like move to something. I never had to think about that stuff. It was always just like, I want to make an album because I want to make an album, and I make my money here. I don't eat where I shit, I guess, sort of. And so, that when I looked at it from that perspective, and I feel like art in general, like I feel like this doesn't stay with music. I feel like this could also be graphic design, or this could be any client work. This doesn't even have to be art. A good friend of mine who, you know, was a very popular musician who could have made a living off of music, was a waiter. And he was a waiter because he didn't want to convolute things. He just waiting tables was work, and music was music. And he made some extra income off music, and, you know, he saved up and he ended up buying a condo with it. But like, yeah, he didn't stress about making a Billboard hit. He worked and he made music, and, you know, he luckily worked for a restaurant that would give him a lot of time off, so he could go on tour and stuff. And it's interesting to see how different people like work out their career and monetize things. Isn't Bad Snacks doing a video about this soon? I think I've been hearing her say that she wants to do a video on like finance. Anyway, it is Thursday night, which means that Noir's stream is been probably going on for 6 minutes now. If anybody would be kind enough, I'm not anywhere near my computer right now, if anybody would be kind enough to link Noir's channel in the chat somewhere. Yeah, he deserves it. His streams are a lot of fun. I like cleaning up my gear to his streams. I like putting on his stream, and I like how he has topics. I'm jealous. I thought about stealing that. I was like, maybe I should have topics. But no, I think we have a good thing going on here, don't we? And of course, as always, thanks to my patrons. Like, this stream is made for Patreon members only, but they voted overwhelmingly that it should be free for everyone. And if you want to watch the other 10 streams that I did before this one, I mean, $1 over at Patreon will get you access to all that, I believe. Yeah, and then also, I'm going to record this. I think I'm going to record this into the new Zoom guy here. And, yeah, and then and I'll put that up there. Maybe an hour of this, in case anybody wants to go to sleep to it. The worst reverb I've used. Jesus Christ, I don't know, man. Boss. Like the maybe the reverbs that are like on the old Boss multi-effects. Like, those are probably the worst. Oh, you know what could also be the worst? Or can you see this? A little bit. I have like a Mackie Pro FX8 here, and I mean, obviously I don't use the effects in it, but that's a good example of like a completely trash reverb, like ones that are just like built into the live mixers. I don't know. I bet that one's not that terrible though. I bet that's like, you know, 30% of the way. But I think like the old ones, when they first started doing that, like the original Behringer mixers and Euro rack mixers. All right, guys. I am going to scroll over here really fast and give you a link to Noir's channel. I just don't want to... I know if I just go to YouTube, he'll already be live. Yes, he is. Or he will be very soon. Oh yeah, he's live. He is playing with a Sonicware Live-In. Here is his channel. Cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. And hopefully, I'm not sure what my next video will be. It depends on like my editing schedule. But I hope my next video is one of my Sonic recording adventures in the wild. And I hope I don't die, because I'm not hiring anybody anymore because the insurance is too much. So I'm going by myself, many, many, many miles away from civilization. But I mean, I'm certified to be a search and rescue person, so I'm pretty good at this stuff. But still, you know, it'll be exciting. It'll be entertainment. All right. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful night while I awkwardly try and figure out how to stop this stream. There it is.